Welcome to this new channel. In this channel, I will talk about a lot of international stocks, especially US and European stocks. So in this video, we are going to look into a stock called Coinbase, which had its recent IPO in 2021. So what is Coinbase? What does this company do? So Coinbase is an American company that operates a cryptocurrency platform. So Coinbase operates remote first. So it doesn't have any headquarters at all. So it operates remotely. It was founded in 2012 by Brian Armstrong and Fred Ezra. As of March 2021, it is the largest cryptocurrency platform in US by trading volume. Let's have a look at some of its history. In 2014, the company grew to 1 million users and acquired the blockchain explorer Blocker and the web bookmarking company Kipt. Throughout 2014, the company also partnered with Overstock, Dell, Expedia, Dish Network, and Time Incorporation, allowing those firms to accept Bitcoin payments. So this company is predominantly operating in cryptocurrency space. So it has its ambition to make a good crypto ecosystem and offer several services in the crypto ecosystem. So in the same year, the company also added Bitcoin payment processing capabilities to the traditional payment companies like Stripe, Braintree, and PayPal. On the year of 2018, Coinbase announced their intention to add support for ERC20 tokens. So those who don't know what is ERC20 tokens, it's a token which can be issued on Ethereum. In October 2020, Coinbase announced the launch of a Visa debit card program. In March 2021, Coinbase announced that it was establishing a business presence in India and hiring employees for IT services, including engineering, software development, and customer support operations. They also plan to open a physical office in Hyderabad. So before going into the business of Coinbase, let's just have a look at the cryptocurrency over the years, how it has been performing. Because if Coinbase has to do well, cryptocurrency market has to do well. So if you look at the chart of total cryptocurrency market cap, it has a cycle, it has a peaks and valleys, but always it is going up for the previous 12 years. It goes up, but it also goes down, so that also affects this business. So they also have a kind of cyclical revenues. So they have a big revenues in some years if cryptocurrency does well, and they also have a sharp drop in their revenue. So you have to understand that this company has a cyclical revenues. So then if you look at the total share of total market cap, how much assets they have on their platform as a share of their total market cap. So in 2018, they have about 4.5% of the total crypto market cap assets they have on their platform. In 2019, they increased their share to almost 8.3%. In 2020, their share increased to almost 11.1%. In the recent quarter, it increased to almost 11.3%. Almost 11.3% of all the cryptocurrencies that exist, or all the cryptocurrency value total market capitalization, 11.3% of that is managed by them or is on their platform. So if you are having a look at some of the company's key highlights, they have about 56 million plus verified users, almost $335 billion plus quarterly volume traded, and $223 billion assets on their platform, and they have about 1,700 employees. And they are looking to build a crypto ecosystem in all of the different products, because mainly they have a platform to buy and sell assets for retail customers and also institutional customers, but then they are also starting to offer more and more services, like for example debit cards, or they also offer borrowing and lending options. They also provide the staking options. They are also providing a lot of different services. They started giving it in their platform. They are also providing for companies to accept payments. They have products. So So let's first have a look at their business revenues. So how much revenues is coming from which part? So if you have a look at their revenues of Coinbase, almost 96% of their revenues is coming from their transactional revenues or from the commissions when trade takes place, people buying and selling. So 96% of their revenue comes from transactional revenue. And then comes only 4% is subscription and services revenue. So what is subscription and services revenue? So out of the subscription and services revenue, they have a pro trading platform and people pay for subscription services, and also they have other different services, for example custody, so they can keep assets for institutional investors, and they also gain money for custody services, and they are also can stake some assets, so they can stake assets for different individuals and they get a margin out of that. So for they also get money from staking, and they are also borrowing and lending operations they are doing within the cryptocurrency ecosystem, so they also generate revenue from that. So all these combined together, it's 4% subscription and services revenue. But now predominantly their revenue is coming from transactional revenue, which is mainly based on trading volume. So if there is a price volatility and if market drops and their trading volume drops, of course their transactional revenue will also be dropped. They are evolving over the period. Initially in 2012 until 2015 they only had a platform for send and receive or invest, and then 2016 to 17 they started introducing pay, which is payment system. It can be used by any institutions or any companies which wants to accept bitcoin or any cryptocurrencies. They also have, then they got a distribution and storing, because a lot of institutions they want to store big amount of cryptocurrencies and they don't have the knowledge or the securities to do it, so they will give it to Coinbase and they store it for them. So it's storing and distributing. And in 2020 they have now staking, borrow and lend, save, and also credit cards. So they are distributing their products, so they are coming up with more and more products. That's good. As a business they are evolving. But if you have a look at the transactional revenues, so out of the transactional revenues, almost 94% of their transactional revenue is coming from retail investors. Only 6% of their revenue is coming from institutional investors. Then 94% is almost coming from retail investors. Then we have to look at it, why this is the case. Is trading volume is higher for the retail investors, or why is this the case? But if you look at the trading volume over different years, so from quarter 1 2020 to almost quarter 1 2021 they had a huge increase in institutional volume. So their retail volume is also increased a lot, but institutional volume increased really a lot. Almost like 50, more than 50% of their trading volume comes from institutions, but only 6% of their revenue is coming from institutions. Most of their revenue, 94% of their transactional revenue is coming from retails, which is the trading volume is 50%. Mostly retail contributes their transactional revenue. The reason being, for example, if higher volume is traded or if higher amount of value is traded, then they have a lesser fees. So retail investors usually trade for less, then they pay higher charges, and institutional investors they usually trade in higher volumes. So in that case they will get a discount, or their fee basis is pretty smaller. For example, the average fee for retail investors was almost 1.4%, but then for institutional investors it's just 10 basis points. So the fees is higher for retail investors because their volume is much lesser. So their retail investors are much more important for them for the current revenue, because almost 94% is coming from the retail investors. And then if you look at their verified users, how they are growing in the verified users, so almost from quarter 1 2020 to quarter 1 2021 it increased from 35 million users to almost 53 million verified users. So they are growing pretty good, the verified users. But if you look at their MTUs, what is MTUs, which is monthly transacting users. So they have almost 53 million users, but how much of them are usually are transacting on their platform? I can be a customer of Coinbase, but I do nothing. So I can just create an account of Coinbase, but I don't do any transactions. So that's useless for them because they don't earn revenue from me, or they don't earn anything on me because I don't do anything, any transaction, just I have a account with Coinbase. But if you look at the monthly transacting users, how many of the users are really transacting every month on their platform? So if you look at that, it's quarter 1 2020, it was almost 1.5 million users, and currently it's almost 6 million monthly transacting users on their platform. So if you look at the average net revenue per user or per monthly transacting user, over the last 2 years, they have seen average annual net revenue per retail monthly transacting users range somewhere between $34 to $45 per month. So they earn every monthly transacting users, they earn about 34 to 45, and they are expecting it to go up. So every monthly transacting users, they are earning about this much. And then if you have a look at the assets on their platform, or how much assets they have on their platform, so they have almost about $223 billion assets in the last quarter. So almost $100 billion comes from the retail investors, and almost $123 billion comes from the institutional investors. So this much assets they have on their platform. This is almost about 11.3% of the total market cap on March 31st, 2021. And then if you look at the history, how it pans out, the trading volume, because that's important, because now the market is doing pretty well. It went up pretty huge in the March quarter of 2021, but now it had a huge drop until now. But then the recent quarter result was up to from January to March, and it was doing phenomenally well at that period of time. But then we have to look at the history, how the trading volume differs based on their price increases or price drops. So if you look at the trading volume over the period, so at the time when there is a peak, their trading volume has a huge high, and then when the price drops, their trading volume also drops. You can have a look at this chart. Their trading volume just dropped from almost $56 billion to $7 billion in 2018, and then it again increased, and then now it's sitting at $89 billion. But the good thing is it always comes up, but it is cyclical. It had a huge highs, and then it had a drop. But average, if you look at the average, their trading volume, it was $17 billion and 21, now it's 38. So we should not be focusing on the $89 billion because it's during the high month, but they will also have a low month, or a period where they have to go through low transaction volume. That means low revenue. And then if you have a look at their retail MTUs, it's also changing over the period. If you look at the history, in quarter 1 2018, they had 2.7 million monthly transacting users, and then it dropped to almost 0.8 million during the bear market, last bear market, and then again it increased now to 2.8 million. So that's good. But during the bear period, then their retail monthly transaction users is going to go down, which means their revenue is going to go down. But the good thing is they are constantly adding a lot of assets. So as of March 2021, they supported 108 unique crypto assets on their platform for trading and custody, which is up from 90 at the end of 2020. So then let's have a look at some of the products they have. So for individuals, they have a Coinbase platform, which is to buy, sell, and use their crypto, and they also have a wallet to store crypto, and they also have a Yarn, which is the LAN and Yarn the crypto, so they can earn from the cryptocurrencies. So they have a card, so they can spend crypto and earn crypto rewards from their card. So they also have a kind of service called private client for trust, family offices, and high net worth individuals. So they also had a USD coin, which is a stable coin which just pegged to a dollar. They also have a Coinbase Pro, so that will provide them a cheaper trading price, but then they have to pay a subscription fees for the Coinbase Pro platform. And for businesses, they also have a different services or different products. So they have a prime brokerage platform for businesses, and they also have a commerce. So using the commerce, any company can accept crypto from anyone. So they are making it easy for different companies. And they also have exchange, which is the direct access to their exchange. And they also have asset hub to list many assets, because currently they only have 108 assets, but then the available cryptocurrencies are even 2000, 3000 assets are which are currently existing. And they also have a custody product, so which is a institutional grade offline storage service they are providing. And they also provide some analytics and ventures, which is raising money for different crypto startups. And for developers, they also have a connect, so which enable users to build apps on top of their already existing APIs or already existing platform. So that's a good more if some company want to build an app on top of them, and they can use it for their customers as well. So that's a very good thing. And they also recently acquired Bison Trials, so which is their transforming into Coinbase cloud. So they also have different products for different set of users. So they also have a Coinbase cloud, I said. So Coinbase cloud, they have these different kind of things in Coinbase cloud. For example, Coinbase Connect, Commerce, Pro, Platform, Participate. They have different set of products which they can they are developing it as Coinbase cloud. So they are coming up like a AWS for cryptocurrencies. So that's good thing. They are not only just focusing on a platform or a cryptocurrency trading company, but then they are evolving into different businesses, different services. They are transforming themselves into different products and kind of crypto company or crypto economy. They are in they want to be part of a crypto economy, not just a trading platform. Before going into the financials, I want to list some of their growth opportunities which are lying ahead of Coinbase. So if you just have a look at their reliability and scalability, in quarter 1 they more than tripled the capacity of their infrastructure. They tripled their capacity of infrastructure, and they grew their customer support team by nearly 250% compared to the last quarter in 2020. And then now the institution momentum is coming, because institutions are just adopting cryptocurrencies. They continue to win mandates from a diverse group of institutional customers, ranging from hedge funds and corporate treasuries to pension funds and insurance companies, via their secure trading and storage solutions. So, in addition to owning crypto assets in their treasuries, both public and private corporations are coming to them and expressing their interest in commerce, payroll, and custom white label solutions. So, they are doing a pretty good job attracting several institutions as also. So, that will also give them a longer term revenue growth opportunities. And then they also had a Crypto Council for Innovation launch in April 2021. Coinbase launched the Crypto Council for Innovation (CCI) alongside Fidelity, Paradigm, and Square. Also, if you have a look at their Coinbase app, so Coinbase has spent over 2 weeks as a top 10 free app on iOS and Android. So they also plan to increase their sales and marketing expenses. So as of now, they were doing 5 to 7% of their revenues as sales and marketing expenses. They plan to increase to between 12 to 15% of their net revenue in 2021. So they are going to sacrifice their short-term revenues for more growth coming ahead. But then let's have a look at their financials, how their real finances are coming about. So if you have a look at their net revenues in quarter 1 2020, they are doing just about $70 million. And then current quarter, in quarter 1 2021, they have $1.5 billion net revenues. But then all the cryptocurrencies does pretty phenomenal in quarter 1 2021, so their net revenue was pretty huge. But then if the bear market comes, it is going to fall, but still look at their possibilities. So they just did $1.5 billion revenue in quarter 1 2021. If the cryptocurrencies continues to go up in the next 5-10 years, look how they are going to increase their revenues. They are going to increase their revenues unbelievably, like for example 100%, 50% for the next 5-10 years. So that's going to be pretty huge growth opportunities lies ahead of Coinbase. And then if you look at their net income, how much net income they did in the last quarter 1 2021, they almost did about $770 million net income. they are not only increasing their revenues, but also they are being profitable. They can be profitable, almost 50% net income margin. So that's a pretty good one. So they have almost about $770 million of net income, and they are increasing their income pretty good. But of course, if bear market comes, it's going to fall. So that has also something to be considered because it's a cyclical business. So if you look at their income statement in 2021, their net income was $771 million, as I just said. In 2020, the same period, they just did $31 million. So they increased from $31 million to almost $771 million net income. Look at the growth. Look at the growth of this company. If you look at their operating expenses, they were doing about 15% as their transactional expenses and then 12% as technology and development. Their sales and marketing was standing at around 7%, but they said they are going to increase it to 12 to 15%. So there is some expenses is going to increase for sales and marketing. But then their total operating expenses was about 51% in Q1 2021, which is a huge reduction compared to their previous quarters. And also look at their full-time employee growth. In Q1 2020, they have about 876 employees, and in Q1 2021, they have about 1,717 employees. So they are also rapidly expanding and increasing their employees. And if you have a look at their balance sheet, so if you look at the cash and cash equivalent, they have about $1.98 billion on their balance sheet. It's pretty healthy. They have about $2 billion on their balance sheet. It can be used during the bear markets or the winters. Of course, winter is going to come for them, and they have to save money for in the best periods so that they can survive during the winters or the bear markets. But then as of now, they are having a very good balance sheet. So until now, we just had a look at their financials, but then the most important section, which is valuation section, we have to value a company. So we have to know whether it's underpriced, overpriced, or fairly priced, or what's the company current stands at. So let's have a look at my personal opinion of the valuation of this company. So if you have a look at the similar companies, like for example Square, they have a forward P of about 117. EV to EBITDA, or enterprise value to EBITDA, is 479, and then their enterprise value to revenue was about 8.5. If you look at PayPal, their forward P was about 50, and then enterprise value to EBITDA is 67, enterprise value to revenue is 14.6 for PayPal. And if you look at the Shopify, which is growing pretty good, and their forward P was pretty high because it's 300, but that's because of some increase in the short term. But the trailing P was about 115, so I just took the 115 trailing P to be conservative. So their trailing P for Shopify is 115, and then the enterprise value to EBITDA was 426 for Shopify, and enterprise value to revenue was 52.4 for Shopify. But then if you have a look at the Coinbase, this is based on their analyzed prediction for a forward P. So forward P of Coinbase was 47, and enterprise value to EBITDA was 27, and enterprise value to revenue is 16.4. That's the analyst expectations. But if you have a look at the last quarter, they have about $770 million net income in the last quarter itself. If we assume, if we assume they have $750 million per quarter in, let's say, in 2 years or 3 years, they just stabilize at $750 million net income for each quarter. So in that case, they'll be hitting somewhere about $3 billion net income. So if they are hitting $3 billion net income, their current valuation of Coinbase is $60 billion market cap. So they have $60 billion market cap, and in 2-3 years, if you assume, for example, $3 billion for their net income, so they, at that period of time, 2-3 years forward P is going to be just 20. But the currently in the first quarter itself, they did $770 million. I'm going to assume in 2 years they're going to do $750 million for all the 4 quarters, but they did for only 1 quarter. So they are also telling second quarters they will also do better, but maybe if bear market continues, their revenues might fall. But if cryptocurrency market as a whole, if it does better, so I believe it's a mid correction for cryptocurrencies, and it's going to do well for example next 6 months or 1 year, and then it's going to have its bear market, and then the company is going to suffer for 1 or 2 years, and then in the next 3 or 4 years it's going to come back again. That's my personal opinion. So in order to be safe, after the cycle, for example, let's say after 4 years, they are going to, after 4 to 5 years, they are going to have a net income of about $1 billion per quarter. That means, yeah, let's assume they have $4 billion net income for the next 5 years, or in 5 years or 7 years, they are going to have a $4 billion net income. And then if the forward P is 50, in that case they can easily be valued at $200 billion company in next 5 years or 7 years. So currently it's $60 billion company, and it can easily 3x or 4x. So with the current share price of $220, so it can easily reach $800, $800 to $1,000. It can easily trade around $800 to $1,000 in the next 5 years. Yeah, in my opinion. So that's my personal opinion. You have to do your due diligence before investing in any stock. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, like, share and comment. Please subscribe to this channel. So that's all for today, and thank you for watching, and have a nice day.